Welcome to Latina Mic Drop, the podcast where cultura, leadership, and unapologetic truth collide. I'm Miriam Simon, and today we're talking about a man who didn't just break records, he redefined what it means to lead through identity, the king of pop, the reggaeton y dembow, el mero mero Bad Bunny. So every generation crowns a king of pop. For us, it's not someone from a boy band or the MTV era. It's a Puerto Rican kid from Vega Baja who took reggaeton and dembow from the barrios to the biggest stages in the world. Bad Bunny didn't just play the game, he built his own throne. He painted his nails, wore skirts, flipped machismo on its head, and made Spanish the language of global pop. And here's the kicker, he never asked permission. He said, "This is me, take it or leave it. Yo hago lo que me da la gana." And the world didn't just take it, they followed it. Too often in leadership, we're told to code switch, tone it down, and shrink, disappear. Don't bring your Latinidad into the room. But Bad Bunny shows us the opposite. The power move is to refuse to be somebody else that you're not, to tell the world F off when they don't get you, to build your own lane and crown yourself. Today, we're diving into the 10 royal moves that made Bad Bunny the king of pop, the reggaeton, and dembow, and how you can lead with the same unapologetic identity in your career, your business, or the boardroom. So let's get right into it. So, a personal story of mine where I was told to tone it down. I mean, I'm Latina through and through. I am not Puerto Rican, I am Mexican. And I have family values up the wazoo to the point where people have told me, "Hey, Miriam, you know, you're making it too comfortable for them and you need to be meaner," almost in a sense. And other times it's about, "Oh, you're talking too much about yourself and you're not coming across as a team player," which to me is BS because I do the opposite. And I think they just were feeling intimidated by all the successes that I've had, that I really just don't have an issue with saying it. And then on top of that, I'm not afraid of sharing my wins with people at all. And so other times where I toned it down and I hid who the hell I was when I would not share that I was a mom of three, that I would not share that I was LGBTQ plus. I would not share that I was even from Mexico because there are so many stereotypes with that. And especially being a young mom, especially in the workplace, like not being able to say, you know what, if she's a mom, maybe she can't be in leadership. If she's a mom, then she has too much on her plate and can't handle anything more. Things like that. Even I lost opportunities for making more money when actually that's what I needed, was to make more money, not lose any more money. But that's the thing, right? The thing is that I was asked to tone it down, but then the minute that I began to be myself, and the minute that unfortunately I needed to wait to get permission from somebody to say, you know what, you be you. You don't need to tone it down. You just need to be yourself. And I don't want people to wait until they ask and get permission to be themselves. I want you to take a lesson here from Bad Bunny's page and never tone it down. You know, he never toned it down. from SoundCloud drops to stadium sellouts. He stayed raw, and that rawness became royalty, right? That's why I call him the king of pop, not just me, but everybody around, even himself and his music, he calls him that. And he took rhythms born in the streets and crowned them global. So now we have all come out of listening. So many people have tuned in last night, breaking records, to listening to the live stream of No Me Quiero Ir de Aquí, which is from the Debí Tirar Más Fotos album from Bad Bunny. So, what are the leadership lessons and the moves that he has done that has helped him become the king of pop, right? Like el rey del pop. He crowned Puerto Rico on the global stage. So he didn't hide who the hell he was. He owned his roots and didn't hide them, right? He 100% always said he was from PR, and not just PR, pe fucking R, right? And he stayed true to it and invited us all to go to PR and enjoy this album and this concert with him. And so I was one of those people that was very lucky to get the tickets. I had my journey start back in January to get these tickets, and I've had them in my email all the way until show 30. And I knew that in show 30, there was something more to come. So I had just heard before getting to the concert on show 30 that there was going to be one more. And of course, he named it Una Más, which is exactly what one more translates to. And that just goes to show you the power of his influence and what he does. And I loved it that he brought us to Puerto Rico to see him and experience Puerto Rico. I love the fact that everybody on social media was giving each other notes and helping each other on how to move around San Juan, what places to visit, what places you can go see, what are the events and things happening, whether it was a day or nighttime. There was so many people talking about it. And what makes him so important is the fact that he stayed true to who he is, stayed true to the music, stayed true to his language. He made Spanish the world's pop language. He would, in interviews in the very beginning, be like, I didn't understand shit of what the heck this person said. And then it would be like, okay, I guess interview is over because he didn't get it and he didn't understand and he would not answer the question. He would go, or if he understood it, he would go right into Spanish and they would have to figure out and adjust it. And even one time when he came out, right, people were laughing because they were like, damn, that's so messed up that the subtitles, the closed captions didn't pick up the Spanish at the event, and people were really like pissed off about it and saying like, what the heck is this? We should be able to read and translate that. We should be able to speak the language. And now for me, this just reminds me of every single freaking time I've been with people that speak Spanish in the workplace and other people that don't speak Spanish get offended or think that we're talking about them or just simply don't like it and would say to me and the other person, hey, we're in the United States, like stop talking Spanish. And I'd be like, yeah, whatever, and just go on with my day and continue to talk in the language that I feel comfortable in with whomever I'm with. It might be English, it might be Spanish. It's going to be what it's going to be. I'm never going to make anybody feel less than because they speak Spanish. And I love the fact that he, in interviews, he continues to use his Spanish music and continue to use his Spanish language as primary. He didn't go ahead and change to speaking English all the time. Now he knows a little bit more and he does speak in English more often. But whenever he has the opportunity, he will switch right back to Spanish. And I love that about him. That's where we need to take a lesson from him and say, you know what? I don't need to dilute who the hell I am. I need to amplify it instead. Right. So many of us speak two languages, and sometimes we are criticized for speaking two languages. And sometimes they even think that we do not speak correctly because we speak with an accent. But the reality is totally different because some of you have a second language. Some of you may even speak even more correct English than other people do because you learned the formal way of saying things. Somebody like me who grew up in the United States may not be as formal as all of you who are learning it in school. So I learned it both in school and outside of school. So mine is blended, but that's no different make saying that we don't get you and that we wouldn't be able to understand you. Like, we totally can. So I love the fact that he made Spanish the world's pop language. Yes, he dethroned machismo. If you're ever talking my language, you are speaking to me right then and there, because he redefined what strength looks like. He ended up going ahead and wearing so many different things that you would think are not manly. He challenged old norms to create space for new ways of seeing. He painted his nails, he wore skirts, gender bending fashion. He dismantled the old guard of toxic masculinity in urban music, making space for new definitions of Latino manhood. I love the fact that some of his clothes is blended and it's not just one gender. He wears pink, he wears skirts, he wears a blend of things. He marched with the people. I think this was at the beginning of when people started to really see him as a person for the people. So during Puerto Rico's 2019 protest demanding Governor Rosello's resignation, Bad Bunny left his European tour, flew home, and marched alongside the pueblo. So he wasn't just an artist, he was a protester as well. So he is one of those people who has been able to do this very well, where in leadership, people can't stand where you put yourself on a throne and you don't come off the high horse and you don't come down to say, oh my goodness, my people really need me. That's true leadership. True leadership really comes at a moment when you come down to see them and say, you know what, I stand with you because this is not correct. This is not working in our favor, or something needs to change for the majority of people. And so he did that, right? With this Debí tener más fotos, he ends up being the person that we all needed. And it's so interesting, the juxtaposition of the kind of climate that we're living in and how the narrative is. It seems like there is more division than there is connection and community. And so, therefore, he, being Latino and from the United States as well, because Puerto Rico is part of the United States, they have a blue passport just like everybody else in the States. So, it's just so interesting how he honed in onto his Latinidad and stayed true to being Puerto Rican. And now all of us who are feeling maybe othered and feeling maybe sidelined and maybe feeling like we don't belong are resonating with what he's saying in his music, like No Me Quiero Ir de Aquí, right? And then even how he made the concert, his residency in Puerto Rico, is what also makes us want to be part of it. For me personally, being in the room just made me feel very proud. And I love the fact that he makes me feel included in part of everything that he does. He uses his platform for justice, from dedicating music videos to femicide victims to calling out political corruption live on stage. He's leveraged fame as a megaphone for social issues Latinos face daily. Even where he has his concert plays into the fact of what's the reality that's going on. And I mean, this is how you meet the moment. A lot of leaders miss this opportunity because they do not meet the moment. And some people think that you don't need to talk about specifics that are going on around the world or in your own country, in the workplace, or in certain things right now. You still have your opinions, you still have where you stand. And of course, we want to be able to agree and disagree respectfully. If you have leverage, if you have privilege, if you have a voice and you have a platform, regardless of where you're standing, regardless of where you're at, when things go into a direction where people are being hurt or people are being dismissed, people want to know where they can go and who they can rely on. Being this person, especially in the music industry, you have the ability to speak to so many different people. You have the capacity to reach that. Reaching wider, not higher type of thing is exactly what he's doing. Some of us as leaders need to stand for something. And there are so many people at work who are just not willing anymore to just go to work and not have their values aligned with the workplace, not have their values aligned with where they spend their time, where they spend their money, who they associate with, what's the proximity that they have with the people around them, and what is that feeling, what is that vision, what is it that they want in their life, and what they want to feel good, they want to have a purpose. And when you don't use it and you don't say anything and you not for the people, this is what happens. Like, people start getting divided, people start thinking, I don't need to be here, I don't know about this place, maybe I should go work somewhere else. They begin not to feel valued, they begin to feel displaced, they feel like they don't belong. And that's part of what is sometimes happening in the workplace. Now, he also celebrates everyday Latinos, from abuelitas dancing in his videos to working class scenes. His visuals and lyrics center real people, not just flashy lifestyles, right? Elevating the barrio to global screens. I love the fact that he has the women in his music video, their abuelitas are holding their bandera and they are coming out on the balcony. And it is so true to be able to have and share regular day people, and how just giving them their place and like just honoring who they are. And I love that about his videos and what he does. And it's not all the same music video types that you would normally see. It's another way of celebrating our Latinidad. And I love that. He also broke the music industry's rules by dropping surprise albums, Yo hago lo que me da la gana, El último tour del mundo, releasing tracks on SoundCloud, collaborating across genres, trap, salsa, bachata, rock. He redefined what Latin music could be. This is what I love about him, is the fact that he was one of those first artists that began to go collaborate with other people. So he collaborated with people in the trap industry, salsa, bachata, rock. I mean, come on, who didn't like that Romeo Santos song, right? I love that song. And then also, when he had the Grupo Frontera song, that was freaking great. Everybody else too that he has collaborated with, this is what makes him, even the songs that he has, some of them have like a little bit of rock in them. When he uses the bass guitars, like that shit calls my attention because I grew up with Mexican rock, and that kind of has a little sound to it that really, oh my, I love it. I That is why he has become so big. What I tell people all the time, especially running EBRGs, like employee business resource groups, that you need to have a little bit of everything to call people's attention. So you need to have variety in order for people to come and participate in what you bring, right? So, how can we use this in the leadership world? Well, if you know that your people are interested in volunteering, so have a committee for volunteering. If you know that people are interested in more community events, so then get more community events, right? If people want to have more professional skills or development programs that they're looking for, then you can have a professional development committee. If people are looking for networking opportunities or mentoring opportunities, then you create those programs around what they want. And so he's doing the same by incorporating a little bit of everything that Latinos are in general. And I'm pretty sure this is stuff that he listens to too, because there's no way that you're going to enjoy yourself that much and be true to yourself and authentic to you. And this is where he's starting to teach people that we are not just one thing, like we are many things, and we enjoy and listen to a variety of music as Latinos. And I know I do, I listen to all of it. So I am really loving the fact that he did that. And then he also took reggaeton to WrestleMania. Who didn't like those WWE appearances? They were fun. They showed how Latinos can take up space anywhere and bring cultura to unexpected global arenas, which to me, that is something that I did every Saturday and Sunday. I always watched WWE with my grandpa. I was in a house full of boys pretty much. It was my grandpa, my uncle, my brother, my cousin, and then my second cousins were usually around sometimes too. And they were always watching WWE. It was usually me, my grandma, and my aunt. And they were always watching basketball over the weekend or WWE. So we love that. And Mexicans love wrestling too. That is just something that we would do. I love the fact that he went, he had a good time. He he jumped off the ropes a couple times, was thrown here and there. It was pretty funny. And then the other thing that he's done is he's built bridges across Latinidad. So Bad Bunny's collabs unite Caribbean, Central, and South American sounds. He's just as likely to record with Jay Cortez as with Grupo Frontera, proving Latino culture isn't monolithic but interconnected. So, again, when I heard him in that song with Grupo Frontera, I mean, that was just like another world for me. I was like, what? Insane. I love it. I had such fun with singing that song on repeat, and all his reggaeton hits, like I love them too, with all the bigs of reggaeton. I love it. So he is just showing how we can put our music out there and understand it and love it and share it with each other. I mean, when I was growing up and I used to go to the parties, they didn't used to play like salsa and merengue and bachata at the Mexican quinceañeras. Nowadays, they play everything. Now, even reggaeton, everything is played in there, like everything from Justin Bieber to everything else. So nowadays, it's very interconnected. Our culture isn't monolithic at all. And lastly, he made Latinos proud, loud, and visible. So whether it's singing about heartbreak, twerking anthems, or political power, Bad Bunny embodies unapologetic Latino identity. He gave millions permission to say, Así somos, and the world can deal with it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Once I finished watching him and I was at show 30, it did take me some time to process what I had just experienced. And I knew, I felt it in me that that was not the last show. What is so amazing to me is how much, and the reason why I resonate so much with him is not because he's good looking, not because he can sing, not because he's a great artist, not because he's a global superstar, not anything like that. The fact is that he has been so true to who he is. And he is demonstrating exactly what I teach and exactly what I have been referring and explaining to people, that it is okay to be you. And that's the gift that was given to me that allowed me to have the psychological safety and have the courage to say innovative things, to do innovative things. That's why I wrote the book, Tattoos and Pearls, because I want you to lead boldly without losing yourself. So many times we have so many different roles where we think, oh, una mamá se porta así. A mom is supposed to behave this way. A leader is supposed to behave this way. A woman is supposed to behave this way, right? That's what we are taught. But there are times where those norms do not fit where we are today. And this is what I love about him at every point of his career. And we've been through the pandemic together, and we've been through polarizing democracy. And we are seeing so many different layers of change. And have you noticed how he not once used the word diversity? And so many people are holding on to the fact that you can't use that word anymore. Where, to me, I actually did not even want to work in the DNI division when I was asked to do that. Not because I don't think the work is important. I 100% believe that we have the qualifications and we have the merit and we have the ability and capability to do more, be the people that we can stand toe to toe. We are competitive. And the reason why I didn't was because I knew that it was going to be temporary. I didn't want to be put into a box because I don't belong in that box. I am way more than that. I am available to so many people. My leadership style is helping so many different people. It's not just for people like me, it's for so many different people. And I really just want you to know, when the critics tried to box him like just another reggaeton artist, right? He expanded, crossing into rock, trap, salsa, and even corridos. So, leaders, you can create lanes and not follow them. And I think this is one of the reasons why I've gotten those 5 rejections at work. is because I really think they don't know what to do with me. I really think they don't know where my lane is because I've created such a lane for myself that they're like, okay, you've created this lane for yourself and now you don't fit into any box. And it's the freaking truth. I don't fit into any of those boxes that I have been trying to apply for. And I've been trying to find my lane, but I've realized that none of them really fit me because I have been so vast in what I've been able to accomplish. I've pretty much crafted my job to what it is today. And that's what we can all do. We can all create lanes instead of following them, right? So I've created this lane where now I have so many different people who are getting promoted and getting everything done and just really truly seeing the change that I've been able to affect has been absolutely a dream for me because I recognize the power that I hold and I recognize the leverage that I've built and I've recognized the positioning and I've recognized the execution, the agility, the leverage, the sovereignty that I hold. And this is absolutely how this ties into my ink and pearls strategy and framework, right? That's the two-step power, influence, leadership strategy that I use in the book Tattoos and Pearls. And this is exactly what he is doing. And this is exactly what I've learned to do, even on my own, in my own lane, at the peak of my career, where I'm currently sitting, where I'm currently at. I have always owned my authenticity, just like Bad Bunny does, right? Some corporate leaders often feel pressure to be somebody they're not and change up who they are. I need to be this way at the office. I need to be this way here, and I need to be that way. And I'm not saying that some behaviors aren't unacceptable. They are, absolutely. Some of them aren't. Like, you shouldn't be doing certain things or talking certain ways. But who you are at the core is your authentic self. And that person you can be wherever you are. You can be that. You can learn other behaviors that will help you thrive and help you become better. But who you are as a person and being true to yourself, you don't need to hide that. Like, you don't need to hide the fact that maybe you do like to wear a little bit more color than other people. You don't need to hide the fact that, you have a wife or a husband when people are expecting something else. Like, you don't have to hide that anymore. It's sometimes I recognize that it is a vulnerability, which is right in my book, a vulnerability that isn't the same, just like the privilege, just like the access, right? It's not the same everywhere we go. And obviously, we need to know where we're at in order for us to recognize how far we can go. But once you create a lane for yourself, which is like why I'm doing this podcast, why I do my blog, why I am coaching, why I have my own business, is because I'm creating my own path and creating my own lane. And that gives me the autonomy to be who the hell I am, to have the authenticity that I want. And sometimes in certain places, the values are just not aligned and it doesn't work. And that's why we need to look for that and understand what they are. So, number one, define it, right? What are our values? What do we stand for? Who are the organizations or where are the organizations that we can go ahead and work with that are aligned with who we are? And not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur or solopreneur. Like, not everybody is. Some of us are professionals who will climb up the ladder and get to a certain point and to a certain position. And that's perfectly fine. But what I want you to know is that you don't need to lose who you are for any of these things, for any of these roles. Now, the other part is that he also created a movement, not just music. So Bad Bunny didn't just drop albums, he gave people a sense of belonging, right? My book gives you that feel of when you embody your truth, people won't just follow you, they really do rally with you. You know how many times I have felt in a way that, oh my goodness, nobody's going to say anything or nobody's going to help me. They're not going to support me. But the minute that I need these people to come through, all I need to do is ask and they will. Like the numbers will come. The people will speak up. The people will say, hey, Miriam, what is it that you need? Let me help you out. Oh, definitely, and that is the beauty of being of service to people, that when necessary, they will show up for you. Leaders who admit their struggles inspire trust, not weakness, right? So songs about heartbreak, mental health, and loneliness resonated because they weren't polished perfection, they were real. That's how you turn vulnerability into power. Like, I used to not want to talk about vulnerability or like get into my feelings about things. But you know what? A long time ago, I recognized that being able to admit my mistakes, being able to admit my struggles actually inspired trust and didn't push people away. And reality, what it did is it brought them closer to me. So being able to admit when I didn't know, or admit, oh my goodness, yes, you're right, I made a mistake. I didn't realize that was the mistake. Oh, let me fix it. Let me work on this. Let me get this done. Let me rework it. People began to see me differently, began to trust me, began to understand who I was, and began to think and look at me differently. And that's what he has been able to do. And that's what leaders should be doing as well. Lastly, he forces institutions to adjust, not the other way around. So, from the Grammys fumbling captions, singing in non English, right, to luxury fashion bending to his style, he makes the system adapt to him. That's leadership power. So, this is something that I recently did that I learned in a process improvement. And I was thinking, like, why are we continuing to work? Why are we making the system not work and not adapt to what it is that the policy is, or what it is that we need? Like, the system should be working for us, not the other way around. And that's what we need to do right now. If you pull up his songs, I'm pretty sure now we see more closed caption in Spanish and other languages as well, because that's what we want. We want to be able to, if this person is speaking in Spanish and French and German and whatever other language, we want to ensure that our systems can pick up on the language that the person is speaking. Bad Bunny shows us that this identity is not a liability, it's currency. In leadership, your voice, your roots, your quirks, that's your source of power. So many people think that you being true to who you are, like, let me tell you, I have used my culture in so many different ways, so many things my grandparents have taught me, so many things my mom and my dad have taught me, so many different things that I've learned along the way that have really helped me become the leader that I am, that had really helped me leverage everything that I have gained, like that really allow me to be who I am. And leaders must build their own lanes instead of squeezing into someone else's. Like, Bad Bunny didn't wait for permission to belong. He built a lane so wide the world has no choice but to follow. And that's the freaking reality. That's the things that we need to do, right? So, like in my book, Tattoos and Pearls, the parallels in how Bad Bunny is and what he's been doing is the fact that our tattoos equal our authenticity, the grit, the scars, the pearls equal our wisdom, the polish, the strategy, right? Bad Bunny embodies both, like street edge with global reach. That's exactly the balance that I'm teaching. Here's the truth: Bad Bunny didn't wait for permission to lead, he didn't conform. He didn't soften the edges that made people uncomfortable. He built his own lane and the world adjusted. That's not just music, that's leadership. That's what it means to wear your tattoos and your pearls at the same time. So here's my challenge to you. What's your Bad Bunny move? What part of yourself are you still tucking away because you think the room can't handle it? What's the piece of your story, your identity, your voice that you need to bring to the table, raw and unfiltered? Because leadership isn't about blending in, it's about being so fully yourself that others finally see what's possible for them too. That's how culture shifts, that's how movements start, and that's how you become unforgettable. This is Latina Mic Drop. Lead bold, live unapologetic, and remember your identity is your power. Thank you for listening to Latina Mic Drop. See you on the flip side.